afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you're in right now. Welcome back to Sip and Talk.
Yeah, welcome everyone.
It is so great to have all of our Sip and Talkers back with us. I am, honestly in such a fantastic mood today.
Oh yeah, good coffee this morning, or just, generally thriving.
Both, honestly. But also, I stumbled onto this incredible internet logic phenomenon recently. Mm-hmm. And it's so wild, I just had to bring it to the table for us to dissect.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
So I call it the universe-level comparison of rottenness.
Wow. That is quite the title.
Right. But you see it everywhere. So someone will point out a genuine critique about certain social behaviors in China, right? Mm-hmm. And instantly, these online defenders will just jump in, deflecting completely.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, they'll say things like, oh, the whole world is smearing us, and, Taiwan and the West, you guys aren't any better, you're terrible people too. And it's this immediate race to the bottom. It's a very specific defensive reflex. And logically speaking, that's actually got a formal name. It's the to quake fallacy.
To quoque. That's the Latin one, right?
Exactly. It literally translates to, you too. But, in our everyday internet ecosystem, we just call it whataboutism.
Whataboutism, yeah. We see that all the time.
Right, because it's intellectually lazy, honestly.
Yeah.
It's this defense mechanism where the goal isn't to actually solve the problem or, even address the criticism. It's just to justify your own imperfections by screaming that everyone else is flawed too.
Which completely ignores the whole principle of proportionality.
Completely.
I saw someone give this great analogy. It's like if a student scores, a 30 on a math test, and the teacher is like, hey, you failed. And the student just screams, well, kids in other schools do drugs.
Right, okay, but you still failed math.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just totally bypasses the actual reality of the situation. And, with this whole internet defender thing, I was thinking about this one-way ticket thought experiment.
Oh, I like where this is going.
Right. So imagine you take one of these guys who's aggressively arguing that, all societies are equally terrible, and you buy them a one-way ticket to just go live there for a year.
Oh, they wouldn't last.
I would bet money within a few months they would be so desperately homesick for just the baseline stuff, like orderly queuing and, that ingrained politeness you see in Taiwanese society, or just high-trust societies in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, this isn't about, some weird regional superiority. It's not that at all.
No, not at all.
It's about the long-term internalization of institutions. It's about education and how people are conditioned to behave in public spaces.
Yeah.
In a high-trust society, people just have a really high consensus on following established rules.
Which brings us to the actual mission of our deep dive today. Because we are unpacking the deep psychological and systemic roots of why different societies view rules and privileges so differently.
Yeah, and we've got some fascinating behavioral research and sociological data to get through.
We really do. And to move from abstract internet logic to real human behavior, we have to talk about this incredible stress test that happened at Shanghai Disneyland.
Oh, the Disneyland incident. Yes. Yeah. Theme parks are such perfect behavioral laboratories.
They really are, because, it's this highly controlled environment. It's supposed to be magical, but then absolute chaos erupts.
Walk us through what happened there.
So regular ticket holders staged this massive, literal mob protest against the Disney Premier Access line, which is, their version of the Fast Pass.
Right, you pay a bit more to skip the main line.
Exactly. But the crowd completely lost it. They started inciting each other, refusing to queue, and they physically rushed forward. And their whole rallying cry was that they were protesting privilege.
Right. They threw up this banner of, righteous equality. But when you peel back the psychological layers of an incident like that, it's a lot more complicated.
Oh, totally.
Because they weren't actually fighting for equality. The data we're looking at points out that they were suffering from what sociologists call privilege anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Privilege anxiety. Okay, break that down for us.
So their core pain point wasn't a philosophical objection to the fact that privilege exists. It was the acute, painful awareness that they personally didn't have it in that specific moment.
Which, okay, to translate that into everyday human terms, it's basically giant baby-style mega jealousy.
Huh. Yeah, that's one way to put it.
I mean, think about it. If Disney had walked up to those same protesters and just handed them all a free Fast Pass, do you think they would have ripped it up for the sake of equality?
Oh, definitely not.
No. They would have happily skipped the line and probably looked down on everyone else who is still waiting. It's very much an attitude of, well, if I don't have it, let's smash the system.
Right, and if Disney had just canceled the Fast Pass altogether and made everyone wait 6 hours, nobody would feel a serene sense of equality. They'd just complain about terrible service.
Exactly. And the contrast here is so stark when you look at a democratic, high-trust society. Like, look at the Taiwanese reaction to the exact same system.
Yeah, the behavioral divergence is massive. In a society with high institutional trust, a fast pass is just understood as a transparent market mechanism.
Right, you pay money, you buy time.
Exactly. It's a commercial contract. Nobody buys an economy ticket and then righteously demands VIP treatment because the societal baseline respects that commercial contract. You might grumble about the wait, but you don't start a peasant revolt at the teacups.
You don't try to tear down the physical turnstiles. But, why is that gap so massive? Why do these two groups react so differently to a theme park line?
Well, the sociological literature cautions against doing a direct parallel comparison between a high-trust democracy and a low-trust or totalitarian system.
Yeah, because it's structurally flawed from the jump.
Right. You're dealing with populations conditioned by entirely different survival metrics.
I loved this analogy from the behavioral research. It really clicked for me. It's like the wasteland versus the garden.
Oh, yeah, the plant analogy. It's really powerful.
So, imagine you have a plant grown in a peaceful, sunny garden. It gets watered. The soil is great. It's thriving. And you try to compare it to a cactus that was forced to grow in this salty, barren wasteland.
Right.
That cactus literally had to develop sharp defensive thorns just to survive. You can't look at the cactus and be like, why aren't your leaves as soft as the garden plant?
No, you can't, because adaptation is a survival imperative. And in environments where rules are opaque or they constantly change based on whoever has power, citizens develop what the studies call trauma-induced privilege pursuit.
Wow. Trauma-induced privilege pursuit.
Yeah. When you grow up in a system where you constantly witness backdoor deals and corrupt unspoken rules, you learn a really harsh lesson.
Which is that playing by the rules makes you a sucker.
Precisely. Honest queuing makes you a fool.
Yeah.
So a transparent Disney Fast Pass is tragically misread as the exact same bureaucratic oppression they face every single day.
That is so dark, but it makes so much sense. Like, they don't see a guy who paid 20 extra bucks. They see the corrupt local official who always gets to cut the line in life.
Exactly. And this zero-sum mentality bleeds into everything. There's a great real-world example in the case studies regarding yielding to ambulances on the road.
Oh, right. Because in a high-trust society, like here or in Taiwan, when the sirens go off, traffic just parts.
It parts like the Red Sea.
Right.
And that's based on a psychological mechanism called a trust chain.
A trust chain. So it's like a reciprocal social contract.
Yeah. The subconscious thought is, I yield today and society will yield for me tomorrow if I'm the one in that ambulance.
But which is just heartbreaking. The baseline assumption is so cynical that basic goodwill is viewed as foolishness. And there was another life example in the notes about high-speed rail seating that blew my mind.
The seat-stealing phenomenon, right?
Yes. So in Taiwan, your ticket is a respected commercial contract. If you're in the wrong seat, someone points it out, you say sorry, and you move.
It's just a minor administrative error.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in contrasting environments, you see this aggressive, rogue survival logic. Someone grabs a seat and goes, well, I'm sitting here, so it's mine now.
Right, because societal rules never protected them anyway. So why respect a printed seat number?
It's exhausting. But, okay, let's pivot for a second. Because looking inward at us, right here in America, we live in a mature democracy. We have high institutional trust.
We do.
But we absolutely break rules and riot in theme parks all the time.
Oh, yeah, we definitely do.
Like American brawls at Disney World or, Black Friday sales at Walmart. Those videos go viral globally. So how is our chaos different from the chaos in a totalitarian system?
Well, the viral videos look identical, but the psychological driver is entirely different. For us, it's not trauma-induced survival panic. It's rooted in this extreme, deep-seated anti-authoritarianism.
The classic American rugged individualism.
Exactly. When an American breaks a rule or causes a scene, the subconscious thought isn't, I'm jealous of your systemic privilege. It's, you have absolutely no right to tell me what to do.
Don't tread on me.
Right. Don't tread on me. Whether it's Washington or a corporate manager or a teenager making minimum wage at a cash register.
Oh my gosh, yes. And we saw this play out on a massive scale with the public health mandates a few years ago.
The masks and vaccines.
Yeah. To the rest of the world, wearing a mask was just basic civic rule following. But to so many of us here, it was instantly perceived as this massive infringement on our God-given liberty by the establishment.
It was an overdefense of personal boundaries. And the sociologists actually point out two very uniquely American traits that fuel this. The first is the entitlement mentality.
Oh, I paid, so I'm the boss.
Exactly. We view consumerism almost as a fundamental human right. So if a flight is delayed by weather, you see Americans screaming at the gate agents, treating a storm like a personal insult to their purchasing power.
Which is why demanding to speak to the manager is basically our national pastime.
It really is. But the second trait is the legal safety net. And this is crucial. In a totalitarian state, citizens resort to physical disruption because they literally have no voice.
Right. They have no other recourse.
But an American who feels cheated by, say, a corporate algorithm, they don't usually start a riot to burn down the building.
No, we just launch a massive class action lawsuit.
Exactly. Our rule breaking relies on the very legal institutions we're complaining about. It's not a collapse of the social contract. It's a very loud, litigious negotiation of it.
Wow. That really changes how you look at the two-quoque fallacy we started with. You just can't compare these behaviors. The viral videos look the same, but the systemic roots are on completely different planets.
Right. And, doing this kind of objective analysis isn't about claiming some moral high ground.
No, definitely not.
It's just a reminder that collective behavior is the long-term result of a society's history, their political system, and their daily survival environment. Our goal here is always just to encourage independent thinking.
And to break out of those information echo chambers, honestly, unpacking all this heavy psychological stuff, it doesn't make me angry. It just gives me this really sobering sense of clarity.
Empathy becomes a lot easier when you understand the mechanics behind the behavior.
Totally. And it really makes you realize that the ability to just elegantly follow rules, to stand in a line without panicking, to trust a system, it's a social luxury of the free world, and it's something we really need to cherish and defend.
Absolutely.
So, Sip&Talkers, I have to ask, what stands out to you from all of this? Have you witnessed these psychological clashes over rules in your own life?
Yeah, we'd love to hear your observations.
Please drop a comment or write to us because we read every single one. We really do. But before we get out of here, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over.
All right. Hit us.
We talked about how an internet argument is like a game of tennis, right? And we figured out why some people keep walking off the court to scream about traffic. But what happens when we stop trying to force them back onto the court and instead we finally ask them, who built the fence that trapped them there in the first place?
Oh, that is a great question to end on.
Right, something to think about. Well, that is all the bandwidth we have for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sip&Talk podcast so you never miss a deep dive.
And also, quick shout out, make sure you guys check out our good friend Mickey's YouTube channel, Mickey to Life.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Mickey to Life. He just dropped some new travel vlogs and they are super fun. You guys definitely have to go watch them.
Highly recommend. All right, see you next time.
Bye-bye.